Every case is arguable. And that's what I enjoy about law is because it's always fluid, it's always moving, and it's open to argument. It's open to making the best representation you can for your client to make he or she gets the compensation they're entitled to be put in the same position as they were before the crash.
How can people afford legal representation if they've been hurt, cannot work, and have medical bills piling up? We're going to talk to lawyer Steve Grover about that on today's Ask the Lawyer. Steve, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Molly, nice to see you again. Hopefully, you're doing well.
Always good to see you too. Can you explain the fee structure you offer to clients and how you typically charge for your services in personal injury cases?
Sure, that's a great question. Obviously, anytime people have to spend money, there's always like, can I afford, a lawyer? And, if you're injured in an accident, like a car accident, motorcycle crash, a trucking accident, and you are injured, we want to make sure you get the best representation possible. And so at Grover Law Firm, we work on something called the contingency fee agreement, which means we work for free. And we don't get paid until we win your case. Okay, so you owe us nothing up front. And for some reason, if the file goes sideways and there's no recovery, then there's no fee. Typically, we work on a flat 30%. I know some lawyers charge more money, but I'm not of that belief because I think if the party is injured, the plaintiff, and they represented by our law firm, they should get more money than the lawyer should. And I think, at the end of the day, we've got an obligation to represent our clients, and balance the level fields with the other insurance company who caused the accident, their driver who caused, because obviously it's not going to be the driver that's going to be personally liable. Obviously, if people have a car and they cause an accident, you have auto insurance, third-party liability will come and step in and pay it out on a claim. So it's a really good system where if the lawyer can afford to do a contingency fee agreement like our office does in every file, that's the way people get really good legal representation. So you don't have to pay the lawyer at Grover Law Firm an hourly fee. So, I hope no one has an accident, but if they do, they can reach out to Grover Law Firm and we work on the contingency fee, which means, until we win your case, you don't get, we don't charge you a fee.
So, Steve, what is involved in that initial consultation process? Is there a fee typically associated with that?
No, generally it's we work for free. We on top of that, we obviously have to prove the person's case to the court and the other insurance company of their losses. So we take the financial responsibility of paying for the police report. We take the financial responsibility of hiring an investigator. We always think it's good to have an investigator go out to the scene, take pictures, look for any kind of CCTV camera video footage, because I believe that, a video or a photo in itself is worth a million words. Obviously, if you have treatment, we have to order treatment records from your treating doctor, your physiotherapist. We pay for that. And obviously, we need extra reports to examine our clients, like either a medical legal report from their doctor or have them see like an independent doctor, like a physiatrist or orthopedic surgeon to assess their injuries that were caused from the accident. So those are called disbursements. And again, we pay for those all up front. When we settle our client's claim, we charge 30%. And then on top of that, the disbursements are reimbursed to our firm on top of the settlement amount.
So, is there anything specifically that a potential client should bring to that initial consultation? Any documents or evidence that they should bring in that you can look at?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is number one, bring your driver's license. We need to identify you as the person. Those are also reporting requirements by the Law Society of Alberta that we have to keep our clients' identification on file so we know who that person is when they come in the office. Secondly, if there is a police report, like an accident collision report, bring a copy of that in so we know what parties are involved in the accident. If you gave a statement to the police following the accident, bring a copy of that. If you go to the hospital and see your doctor in the meantime before you visit our office, bring any medical information you may have, like a medical note or maybe an MRI scan that has been done before you retain our firm. So anything that can help us build the file just from the grounds up is important to bring to the initial interview with our office again. And the initial interview is free. There's no charge for the consultation. So if you decide not to retain our services and see another lawyer, there's no fee for us for the initial consultation.
Now, everybody always wants to know about cost. How do you estimate the cost for a personal injury case? Can you give us a rough estimate of maybe what the average case might cost?
Well, Molly, that's a very good question. I'm going to tell you, when someone comes in my office, they usually ask me two things: is when am I going to settle my case, and how much my case is worth? And I'll be honest with every yourself and any potential client that comes in my office. I don't know, and I don't know. Okay, there's so many factors that take in consideration of a claim. You know, how what type of injuries did you suffer? Did you just suffer like a neck pain and soft tissue injuries, or did you have a brain injury? Did you have a broken back? How soon can you get back to work after the accidents and your injuries? How much treatment you did? Also, in Canada, we have a common law, British law system where we depend on precedent case law to try and figure out exactly, what type of injuries our client had. Can we find the same case or not similar enough, but can we put it in the range of damages of what their pain and suffering is worth? And assessing pain and suffering also goes to the fact of how much time off work did they take, because that's going to go into how much the claim is really worth. And really, I really don't know what a case is worth because I'm a lawyer and I need those expert reports from the family doctor and the independent doctors, because they're gonna be our experts for court, um, to prove the other side what injuries our client suffered, and was the accident the cause of the injury. And that's the most important thing. We need that medical documentation to assess the claim. So at the initial consultation, it's going to be, impossible for me to tell you, okay, your case is worth $1 million. And if any lawyer tells someone that the initial consultation is worth X amount of dollars, I don't think they know what they're doing. And, you should think twice about hiring that lawyer. Okay.
That makes sense. Each case is very unique. So, for individuals who might find it challenging to afford the full cost upfront, are there any kind of payment plans or financing options that you guys offer?
No, because at the end of the day, again, like you mentioned earlier, we work on a contingency fee. So until we win your case, you owe us zero, nothing. And we want you to do well, because the more money you make, the more money we make. But at the end of the day, it's not just about money, because money comes and goes. It's sort of like there's the analogy of the waves hitting the beach and then the water goes back in the ocean. Money's sort of like it comes and goes in life, and that's part of life. You make money, you lose money. The most important thing for us is to make sure our clients are, they get their injuries assessed, they go for treatments, and then, we know exactly where that party is regarding their injuries. It's always good to wait 2 years to see if the injuries are permanent or not permanent, because then we can assess if what the claim they get at the end of the settlement will put them in the same position as they're before the accident. So, again, every case is on its own. And there's a reason why they call it personal injury, because it is personal to the person who's suffered the accidents. And you just can't pigeonhole like, okay, this person has this injury and they're going to get 15 grand, and this person has this injury, they're going to get 100 grand. If law was that easy, I wouldn't have a job and there would be no court system here in Canada. So, unfortunately, what law is an art. It's not a science. It's not black and white. And there's a gray area, and every case is arguable. And that's what I enjoy about law, is because it's always fluid, it's always moving, and it's open to argument. It's open to making the best representation you can for your client to make he or she gets the compensation they're entitled to be put in the same position as they were before the crash.
Now, I think I know your next answer to this next question, but for people trying to save money and they think that they can go it alone without a lawyer, is this a good idea? And can a lawyer in the end really get you more money out of these types of cases, even with the fees associated with them?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, I don't recommend anyone going alone, because obviously, I went to law school for 3 years. I've committed 23 years of my life to personal injury cases. Been involved in reading books. Usually I read one book a week. It could be a business book. It could be a law book, just to make myself better running my business and being a better lawyer to advocate for my clients. It's involved going to seminars. There's trucking seminars we go to in Texas every year to learn how to litigate a trucking case. If you're in an accident involving an 18-wheeler, how do we prove liability? And we're experts in the area. And at the end of the day, we work for free. There's no costs up front. And some people say, well, why do I have to hire a lawyer and charge them, get charged 30%? But if you do take on the case yourself and you don't know the ins and outs of how to litigate the case or how the court system works or how causation and damages are proved, you may just sell your case for 10 grand. Okay, well, I just saved 3 grand off 10 grand. But if you litigate it properly and we understand there's a permanent injury and, this person has to be put in the same position as he or she was before the accident and we get the person 500 grand, well, you do the math. You've come ahead by hiring an expert in the field. And I don't really understand why someone who's injured in an accident would not seek out professional and competent counsel that has the time, experience, and resources to take on a case like his or hers.
Absolutely. Best to let the experts handle it. Steve, thanks for taking the time to talk to us today.
Thank you, Molly. Always a pleasure. And I hope you have a great weekend.
You too. And that's going to do it for this episode of Ask the Lawyer. My guest has been lawyer Steve Grover. If you'd like to ask him about your situation, call the number on your screen. Thanks for watching. I'm Molly Hendrickson for Ask the Lawyers.